The S.H.A.R.E Agriculture Foundation strives to alleviate rural poverty by supporting rural groups in countries and regions with the greatest need, primarily in Central and South America. S.H.A.R.E works with rural people disadvantaged by civil war, displacement, poverty, or extreme social injustice. Drive off the highway onto a rutted dirt path, across miles of droughty terrain, or up steep mountain slopes. At the end of the road, you may find a S.H.A.R.E project, a group of proud farmers ready to show you their well-cared-for herd of goats, sheep, or cattle, their bountiful market gardens, a beekeeping or chicken project. They'll tell you how their incomes have doubled and their families now have a more reliable and diversified diet. S.H.A.R.E stands for Sending Help and Resources Everywhere and began in 1976. S.H.A.R.E supports skills and expertise in agriculture and rural development. The nonprofit, non-government organization works through volunteers. Small overhead expenses are covered by investment income from a bequest, so all donations go to worthy, sustainable projects. Hundreds of small projects have been completed in Brazil and Bolivia in South America, and in Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Haiti in Central America, and even across the world in Cambodia and Africa. Many larger projects have received 3-to-1 matched funding from the Canadian International Development Agency. S.H.A.R.E operates on the principle of a hand up, not a handout. S.H.A.R.E's projects help people to help themselves and make their communities stronger. The pass-on principle is applied to each project, whereby recipients of S.H.A.R.E learn new skills and pass on their knowledge or tangible benefits to others. A farmer who receives a cow may pass on the first heifer calf to his needy neighbor. Seeds or tree cuttings from one garden will establish many more plantings. S.H.A.R.E partners with like-minded rural organizations in developing countries. S.H.A.R.E responds with assistance to rural partners who have identified their own needs but need S.H.A.R.E's help to implement improvements. It's a cooperative partnership with local organizations that S.H.A.R.E monitors every step of the way to ensure accountability and long-term sustainability. A key support that S.H.A.R.E arranges is for local agricultural technicians to teach farmers to use what resources are available to develop new techniques of livestock management, crop diversification, and environmental enhancement. The result? Improved family nutrition and enhanced income through better production and marketing opportunities. Ronivon, from a drought-stricken area of Brazil, says S.H.A.R.E's agriculture technicians have been a great resource to help with production and marketing. A sheep course taught me that many native plants, such as sisal silage, can be used for feed. We can now live off farm income. Anna says, from the S.H.A.R.E agriculture technician, I learned a lot about raising livestock, how to take better care of the land, and store feed for the animals. Like many young men in rural areas, Pele used to go to the city seeking day labor jobs. I didn't like it, states Pele, so he returned to his family's subsistence farm, and with a small loan and S.H.A.R.E's ag tech support, he expanded the sheep enterprise and doubled his income. S.H.A.R.E's projects support enterprising youth who may establish a beekeeping project, a piggery, or a chicken project supplying food to their families, local markets and restaurants, or to school lunch programs. Women's groups who generate income in small rural enterprises processing local fruits, making handcrafts, or selling eggs are also supported. S.H.A.R.E has funded conferences and workshops to train hundreds of men and women. An annual organic growers conference in Brazil, conceived and funded by S.H.A.R.E, has become very popular, providing a 3-day learning experience for over 100 community leaders. Small grants or revolving loans with flexible repayment terms at reasonable rates of interest are often the final step on the road to self-sustainability. Loans might be for seeds, tools, and irrigation equipment to cultivate a small field of grain, or money to buy goats or sheep. S.H.A.R.E's agriculture technicians guide the credit process and provide training while the procedure is administered by a local partner organization. The revolving funds set up have remarkably low delinquency rates. Selson has a few cows and grows organic vegetables in a mandala garden. Getting produce to market was a problem until S.H.A.R.E helped the families purchase a used truck with 1/3 grant, 1/3 from their own savings, and 1/3 from S.H.A.R.E to be repaid into their own fund to assist all of the 108 families in a land reform settlement. Building human capacity in disadvantaged rural communities often starts with improving basic literacy levels. Hundreds of adults have learned to read and write in S.H.A.R.E's literacy circles. The benefits of self-worth and basic skills to manage their small farms are immeasurable. Maria, who tends a productive market garden in El Salvador, no longer carries the shame of having to put an X on documents when she goes to town. She can now proudly write her name, read directions, and street signs, thanks to S.H.A.R.E's literacy circle. I always wanted to learn to read and write, she says, but my mother said I should be in the kitchen, making tortillas. S.H.A.R.E scholarships for rural youth help to break the cycle of poverty. The children from this village must really sacrifice to get an education, stated the local school principal in Belize. That's why the S.H.A.R.E scholarship is important. Antonio says, I will never forget the financial support I received from S.H.A.R.E for my education. It has transformed my life. I want to continue to learn and help my community, especially small farmers and young people. Around the world, more rural people die from inhaling smoke from indoor cooking fires than from malaria. S.H.A.R.E responded by researching solutions and is facilitating the building of smoke-free cooking stoves for farm women in project communities. These women have cooked on the ground in their humble houses and inhaled smoke from the open fires every day for years. Guatemalan and Honduran women say their lives are transformed with this new technology. They spend less time cooking over these hotter fires, and the family spends less time searching for wood because the stove uses half the wood. The environment is protected, family health improves, and women have time to tend a garden or participate in a literacy class. S.H.A.R.E's proven methods produce sustainable results. You'll be surprised that a little goes such a long way with S.H.A.R.E's projects in communities at the end of the road. Mark Cullen, S.H.A.R.E's honorary patron, supports the work of S.H.A.R.E.
I am a great fan of the work that S.H.A.R.E does. This organization has an impact on a tremendous number of lives, increases the benefits through the pass-on principle, and it isn't burdened with large administrative costs. This is a volunteer-driven organization, a registered charity in the purest sense of it. And in my experience, S.H.A.R.E Agricultural Foundation stretches a buck further than any not-for-profit organization in Canada that I know of.
There are still more roads to take, more people who need a hand up. Get involved, volunteer, share your time or your money, and help the S.H.A.R.E Agriculture Foundation make a difference. Contact us at www.shareagfoundation.org, by email at info@shareagfoundation.org, or call 1-888-337-4273.